Hot Springs Village Inside Out is a closer look at the greatness of Hot Springs Village, Arkansas and the surrounding areas. People, places, experiences. Hot Springs Village is one of the most beautiful places on earth. Join me, Randy Cantrell, and my co-host Dennis Simpson as we engage in weekly conversations to explore Hot Springs Village Inside Out. Today's show is brought to you by Central Arkansas's favorite radio station, KVRE. Find them on the dial at 92.9 FM. Stream them live at kvre.com. RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village. The award-winning RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village is the largest real estate office inside the village with over 30 full-time agents and support staff. Visit them to learn more about this beautiful place to solve your real estate needs. Call them today at 1-800-364-9007. Find them online at explorehsv.com. They are RE/MAX of Hot Springs Village at 1-800-364-9007 or online at explorehsv.com. Ike Eisenhower State Farm. Ike and his award-winning team have been serving the insurance needs of folks all around Hot Springs Village since 1998. Ike has qualified for State Farm's President's Club, Chairman's Circle, and Hot Springs Village Insurance Agent of the Year. Call Ike Eisenhower State Farm today at 501-984-4100. That's 501-984-4100. Find them online at ikeeisenhower.net. Call them today for all your insurance needs because, like a good neighbor, Ike Eisenhower State Farm is there.
We have some new visitors, and I can barely wait to talk about it.
Yeah,
What's
we
going
do,
on, man.
Well, we've got some bear that started coming back into the village.
Now, do you think we got one, or you think it's a couple?
I think there's probably a couple of young juvenile males, and this is not the first time. I mean, they come through here. You know, we had, what was it, 2 years ago that the one was in here, and
I'm thinking it's going to be three. I think this is the anniversary. It was 2 solid years ago, but I think this was the anniversary of.
And this time of the year, Dennis, their natural food source ain't out, and they know that if they come to the village, they got all the bird seed, and they got garbage, and they got, at that time, 2 or 3 years ago when we had that one, it was actually being fed, which is illegal. Arkansas game and fish. Yeah, it's a huge fine if they catch you feeding a bear.
Really?
Yeah. So
when you say
that's why we.
I'm sorry. You say their natural food's not available yet. What is that? Well,
whenever the bear will go to leaving, whenever they go to your pokeberries or your blackberries go to ripening and coming out, and especially whenever the acorns go to falling. They really go to foraging on those. But right now, it's too easy of a food source for them. They walk up in somebody's backyard that's full of bird seed, and there it is. And the thing about it is, used to they would trap them and relocate them.
Yeah.
But they don't do that anymore. I mean, honestly, if a bear gets habituated, they call it, that's habitized, they're not as scared of a human anymore, then they pose them as a threat, and that's, they have to end up being euthanized.
So let's recap the phrase that I heard, and I know you've heard too. A fed bear is a dead bear. Basically,
yeah. Because they tried to relocate them in the past, and they go right back to that food source that they're comfortable with.
Well, I read that the Game and Fish is having a bear hunt for the first time in South Arkansas in 35 years or so.
They are. There was actually, I helped the Game and Fish with their bear trapping and outside of the village. And whenever I say bear trapping, we catch the bear and collar the mama bear so we can go back and check the cubs. And that way they can keep track of, they put a tracking collar on her, and they can keep track of how many cubs she has and how the population's going. And they helped me in the village with our bear. And they had told me that there was a lady that lived in Mena, and she had 7 bear that she was feeding. She fed them dog food. Yeah. And
7.
so there were 7 of them. And so she passed away. And they sold the house. Well, those bears were used to coming in and getting food. And they actually tore the door off the hinges while the people were there in the house that had bought it, trying to find that food source. And they ended up having to go down and yeah, they had to take out all 7 of them.
How tragic. And look,
Yeah.
I know it sounds like a good idea. It sounds like a good idea. I had an aunt who thought that she would keep a baby squirrel and she fed that baby squirrel soft food all the time. That baby squirrel got out one day, got an acorn and took a bite, and its teeth went right up into its head and killed it. There's a natural pattern for a reason. And when we go to messing with that natural pattern, we have a problem. Wouldn't you say, Todd?
We do. And if you live somewhere and you got a bear in your neighborhood here in the village, if you'll put an ammonia-based product that's a high ammonia content, you can get cleaning supplies at Walmart that's high ammonia content. You can put that on your garbage cans. You can put it on your bird feeders.
Really?
And the bear will not touch it. No, it's a deterrent for the bear. If you've got something that's got a high ammonia concentrate in it, you can put it on and it will deter the bear from getting into your property.
Well,
or from tearing your bird feeders up. But the best thing to take your bird feeders down.
Well, let's come back to that just for a minute. I saw this picture, man, Todd, this you might remember this. It's been 15, it might be 17 years ago. But there was a picture on the front page of the Village Voice of one of these tall, thin bird feeders, cylindrical, about the size of bigger than a softball, like a little dodgeball or something. And it had a little basket at the top and a little basket at the bottom, that held all the seed in. And a little little juvenile had crawled up in there, sat down on that bottom little dish and sat and ate until he got full. And you know what you do when you're full? You take a nap.
Just lay out. Yeah.
And he literally was hugging that bird feeder, sleeping. And it looked cute and it was adorable, not sustainable, not something we can do long term, right?
Right. And back when we had the bear in here, they were in people's front yards. They were that was 3 years ago, I believe. We had 3 or 4 of them in here at that time. And the funny thing about it, the CHI clinic down here between Cortez and Fresno on DeSoto, the bear actually went so close to their front door that it stepped on the pad and the door opened. And there the bear was. So they call me. They're freaking out. They're like, "Hey, this bear tried to come in, our door open because he stepped on their pad." Yeah. But when it opened, he took off and run down toward Lake Cortez. So, I mean, people has to realize that you move in here, move in here for the beautiful scenery, for the mountain views, the lakes, but you also move into the Ouachita Mountain Range. Mm-hmm. And surrounding the village is all leased land. You got Winona, you got the Winona Refuge just north of us here.
The wilderness area, 250,000 acres of real wilderness. And people are like, "Oh, I want to go drive through that." You're not listening. It's wilderness. There's not a road. You don't go through it,
So, I mean, and the bear, whenever they get to reach a certain age, and that's mainly what you're seeing is juvenile males, they'll go out foraging for food. And it's, just like anything else, whatever's the easiest, that's what they're going to do. And Hot Springs Village is easy for them to get food. I mean, it's all over.
Would you put up your bird feeder completely, or if it's high enough off the ground, or, I mean?
No, I'd put it up completely because they'll sit there and take their front paws and rock it until it breaks off on the ground and get it out. So
really?
Yeah.
Pretty ingenious is the answer I'm hearing.
Oh yeah, they're smart. And,
how many do you think we have right now? We've seen a lot of sightings on Nextdoor. I just don't know.
I don't know really an exact count without just, seeing the pictures. They got different markings and stuff, but I'm going to say there's probably about 3 in here, 2 or 3.
Okay.
That's been seen.
And they're highly photographic because they want to show up on your Ring doorbell and go, "Hey, it's us looking here." Exactly.
Can
you fill the feeder back up? It must have gone empty. It's those squirrels. Those squirrels emptied it. I just came here to protect it, Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they'll, like I said, when the natural food source goes to coming out for them, that's what they're naturally drawn to. So that's what they're going to go to.
So any kind of real ammonia is a strong deterrent to them.
Right. And even a cleaning supply that's got a high ammonia concentrate will work, and
one of the things I love, and I've used it a lot of times around here, is there's a product called Awesome, and it's bright yellow, looks kind of like urine, I guess, but it's probably 50% ammonia. It's got a lot of glycerin in it, and it's got a little bleach, and it'll clean virtually anything. But when you spray it on, it sticks too, is my point. So if you sprayed that on your trash can or whatever, it might be a little better for you.
If you spray it on something, a bear is not coming around it. I can promise you that. Yeah.
And highly sensitive smell, right?
Very, very, very high sense of smell, and that's why they can smell these bird feeders and things and they're attracted to anything sweet too, like but your bird feeders, they just love them, and they'll get in there and they'll destroy them. But if you got a bear in your area, if it's been on next door and you know that it's traveling through your area or it's hanging around your area, just put your bird feeder up or put ammonia on it. And, and if you're walking, hey, if you're out walking your dog and you see one, or you're just walking and you see one, it's nothing to be alarmed about. They're not grizzly bears. They're black bears.
Yeah.
And they're more scared of you than you are them. If you make a loud noise, then it's leaving here at a high rate of speed. So
clap your hands and stomp your feet. And act big, and they're gone.
The only thing, if you've got a dog, just make sure your dog's leashed, because a dog will naturally bark at it, and you don't want your dog running up on it, and trying to get into it with it.
Yeah.
So just make sure your dog's leashed, and the bear's not going to bother you.
Well, and
it may stand out there and look at you, but it's not going to come after you and charge you and take you down or anything like that.
It's not going to rush you.
No, it's not going to rush you.
Let's recap real quick. And Todd, thanks again for being on with us. We always love having you here.
I appreciate it.
Well, Randy and I have done this for over 2 years, over 200 episodes. And we think we've talked about something, we think we don't need to talk about it again. Let me just cut to the chase here real quick. 1.75 million acres of national forest to the north of us. What would you say, Todd? 55 miles between here, or 35 miles between here and say Russellville? There's a lot of
probably
there's a thick band of national forest to the north of us. We got Green Bay packaging to the west and south of us in places. You're in the forest. You're in the forest. And I said this, unfortunately, when a young man drowned on our lake with one of our kayaks. But I tell this to all of our visitors too. It is beautiful. It is awesome. It is completely natural. It is not an amusement ride. There are not airbags built in. That snake is not a prop. It will bite you. Leave it alone and go the other direction. It will bite you. Yeah. So I can't get that across to people, and Todd, to kind of bragging, I'm sitting here looking out the window this morning, and the bald eagle circles around the little lake out, Angel Island, out here in the middle of the lake. And I'm like, what a place we live in.
Oh, yeah.
But it comes with a cost, right?
It does. It does. And we try to protect our wildlife, even our bear. We try to make it, they build habitats for them in Winona.
Really?
Yeah, they have habitats built for them so they can populate and they can keep the numbers up. And you got poaching going on outside the village that take out the bear. People, I guess they're either scared of the bear and they see them and they want to, take them out or whatever. But they've actually tracked some up that have been poached outside the village. But you live in here with the wildlife. You have to share, I guess is the terms, because the wildlife, they don't know the gates are here.
They couldn't care less. They don't see a barrier or border.
Yeah, so they're going to come in here and they're just passing through. I tell you what, it's kind of like a VBR. They're just renting it for a small time, and then they'll be on their way.
Hey, listen, we're just here a few days. We're headed on out, man. We're not staying. Yeah, we're not long term.
They're just here for maybe a month or two, and like I said, when their natural food source goes to coming out, then they'll be out of here.
Well, Todd, as always, it's a wonderful pleasure having you with us for Hot Springs Village Inside Out. Todd Knowles, we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thanks, Todd. See you, buddy.
Thanks for watching and listening to Hot Springs Village Inside Out, a weekly podcast starring Hot Springs Village, Arkansas. Visit the website at hotspringsvillageinsideout.com.